Alright, hello guys, welcome to the stream, and welcome back. Hello guys everyone, welcome to the stream. You guys can join the stream, we are live. Let me check if the voice is audible or not, just give me a moment please. Alright, hello guys, welcome to the stream, and welcome back. Hello guys everyone, welcome to the stream. You guys can join the stream, we are live. Yeah, okay, so we are live and our voice is audible as well. So you guys can join it now, you know. Audible or not. Let me just give me a moment, please. Welcome the people first, and then we'll be starting our trades and everything today. Alright, so I will be talking about the charts that we were observing yesterday at the same time, and the market is still at this same point. If I show you the BTC, so yesterday the BTC was at the level of 94,400 something like that, and at this point the market is trading at the same point. Market is nowhere else apart from that same rotating price that the market is making up like a sideways of its own. So you guys can join it now, you know. However, we mentioned that yesterday the market will have a small, short of a breakdown. The market, we wish to get the market get down, the more down. However, market touch at this point. Market was down like 1,000 to 2,000 points. So I will be talking about the charts. Our target usually, which is more than 1,000 points, has been already covered still at this trade. If I show you the BTC on the 15 minute of the chart, so you guys can check at the level of 94,400 something like that. That was something our analysis at this point, or at this point, my market is nowhere else. Right, so I showed that BTC at this rotating price that the market was thinking of like it sideways, and these range was something. However, we mentioned that yesterday the market does have that I have to give to a market. Short of a breakdown, the market, we wish to get the market get down, the more down. However, alright, just give me a moment please. Alright guys, everyone, welcome to the stream. If there is someone in the chat, you can just say hi. Alright, today we're gonna be talking about the market condition, that what market going to do next, or what the market is planning to do, and what we are planning. Alright, the market is at the stable conditions where the market is just moving around like 1,000 points, going back to the same points, 1,500 points, or going back to the same points. So that's what the market is trending at this point, and if we look at it clearly, that the market is as of now, I'm more bearish at this point. However, it might take a time, you know, for getting down. It might go up, but then again, I just want the market should touch a level of a 92,000 or a 91,000, which will show the market is again on the weak side, and there is kind of a selling that we can expect, or a crash that the BTC shows on the daily basis or as per it basis, the market basis, you know. So we can plan a trade for any other side. It really doesn't matter that we just have to be biased for one side, not really. But what I'm trying to say here is that first we'll have to observe it on a different time frame. That's what I actually do. So You just really have to open up your chart on a different time frames. But before we get into the, let me just wait for me people. Yep. And yesterday we were talking about the drawdown, the consistency, and many more. But we'll repeat that, we'll revise it so that we can trade it with the learning, and we can keep the things in our mind that is important. Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. Hello guys. Hello everyone, welcome to the English stream. I'm from the IIT and Trader team, and we are streaming English. Like, this is a live stream on English, like a trading live stream where we trade a crypto, like BTC. We're gonna be trading other instrument as well, like your BTC, the Ethereums, the Solana, and I'll check that all the charts for you guys. We'll be learning how to trade the crypto in the right way, and what strategies that I use, or what strategy that you guys can follow to make it very simple before you get into your trades, before you get out of your trades. And it's the trading. It's not that, we're just putting a trade and we're just waiting. Oh, it might go up or it might go down. We get worried after putting a trades. So that's what we're gonna be avoiding, put the trade in and just be chill or be free. So that's the way it should be. That's the way we'll try. But at this point, like, if there are more people, like, just showing it, and yeah, we'll start then. Alright guys, welcome to the stream. I can see the people. Oh, you do have a 200 USD. How much should be my per trade capital? Bro, Rooney, like, if you do have a 200 USD, right? First of all, just make sure, if you are just into the trading, if it just happened in 1 or 2 months, make sure you're trading at one particular chart. Alright, I'm checking the chat, don't worry about it. Thank you so much for asking me the question. I can see the chat. If the people live, if the people are watching, just say hi, and let's get started then, We'll be trading like we do the live stream on every single day at 12 p.m. That's the timing that when we come live, we trade the crypto. We'll be observing the chart, we'll be giving you the right way to trade in. So if you're having a $200, on your capital, you should go for only, like, just from 5 to 10 lots, not more than that. Either you can trade from the 5 lots, you can start it from the 5, you can go to 10. Because these are actual lot size you should carry if you're having a capital from $100 or $200. Trade on the chart, what else? I did not got your question, bro. Can you ask that again? what do you trade in? Like, do you trade like a BTC, or also you guys trade different instruments? Because from my perspective, bro, if you're having a $200, first start with a BTC. Because it's not only a volatile, it's not the risky one, but it will give you the real trades. It will give you the understanding of the charts. You know how actually the market moves, how actually the prices moves. Because it's not about these trend line that we are putting a trade in. These are not about the strategy that we are learning and then we're gonna be using it at the same point, like on a different charts. No, we don't have to do it. Okay, if you're talking about the leverage, guys, the leverage only should be at 25x if you're having a $200 account. And from my side, you can trade with 50x, you can trade with 100x, you can trade with 150x as well. But the only problem with the leverage when you increase your quantity. When you think that you're getting something with a discount, so you should increase your quantity, you should try to average that, using those leverages. Because I will give you the multiple reasons that why it affects your trading if you use a high quantity, if you use more than like 10 lots and you're trading on that regular basis. You can increase your quantity once you are able to manage those small quantity where you think that the profit making is so difficult. So you will have to start generating the profit in that small lots. Because it's not about like you should only have a high quantity. You will realize whenever you trade in, even from the small quantity, you guys can make a profit. You guys can be in that good profit ratio. Because when we go for high quantity, if we put the high lots, which we always try to, the question comes in our mind that if we are having $100, or how much lot I should trade, or how much lot size I should increase up. Because what we think, if we just trade with a one lot, the profit that don't come in the way we want it. But what we have to do, bro, if we're trading the small quantity, we have to make sure our profit target are big. We're trading for like 1:4, 1:5, 1:6, 1:7, 1:8, 1:10 as well. Alright, that is something we can do. As I said yesterday, even if some person would have been traded at this point, like even the 5 lots, and if you're trading at this point, it was already down for more than 2,000 points. Where you can easily make that good amount of profit if you're having a lot size accordingly. Because you only have to risk something in the market, it's not about your lot. You just have to risk something which you can really accept. It should not be your lip service, because as of now, if you guys are asking that what quantity should I trade in, and if I ask you to trade like a 50 lots, that is just the lip service that you're following. That is just the beliefs that I'm providing, that you can trade it and that's not a problem, just make sure you use a low leverage. No, we don't have to do that. Even if anyone says that you can do that, you can observe it by your own, because if you're trading with a small quantity, you do have a low risk, you do have a big distance for the market, where you can put the market, give them big distance. And as I said yesterday, where when the market was trading at this point, where it was an entry point, I told you that we were having at least this stop loss. This should be a stop loss, because people who will try to make the entry at these points or at these points, that will be a wrong entry, because market is going to get up or downside, and then the market might take these SLs. But if our entry would have been at this point, doesn't matter our lot size, doesn't matter our risk, doesn't matter anything, but the market was going down, we were at least safe at this point. So our entry, that matters, our stop loss place, that matters. And then finally come target, which is something which you have to manage, your money managements. You should know where I have to exit my position size, where I have to cut on my trades. But what we actually do, we put the trades and we then look for cutting out of trades on the immediate basis, even if the market is trending just a single tick against from us. So that is what the fear comes in mind while we trade, which we'll have to avoid. You guys can ask me answers or questions, like whatever you guys have in their mind. If you guys are watching the stream, I welcome you guys. I hope you guys are having a good day. You guys are trading in a good way. You guys started your trading. And if not, we guys can observe the chart as this is on a 30 minutes. Okay, on the 15-minute of the chart, the market has kind of make this pattern. So I'm just waiting. If the market goes down from this point, there is a level to get down to take the market down. But at this point, if the market keep on respecting this trend line that I'm creating just now, so it might be possible that the market shows one bull move, which might take the complete SLs of the people who were trading at these points. I hope I'm audible, right? You guys can hear me? Bro, I just want to respond, okay? If you guys are trading, if you guys are watching, if you guys really want something. See, the problem with us is that I'm ready to give you guys the trades. I'll be ready to trade in, but that's something we don't want to do. Because that's something the 99% people are already doing. We'll be trying to do something that is only a 1%, that is actually making sense. So if suppose I'm giving you the trade, you should at least know by your own that, okay, if I get into this trade, why I'm getting into that trade. What's the reason behind it? So from my side, I always look the chart. I don't do that hurry into getting into trades because, as I said, I really don't have that points or a profit in my mind, which is just for like 200 points or 400 or 300 points. I usually go more than that because then how come only if you trade when tried, if it's not going your full targets, but at least you will have a targets that we get in our mind before getting into trades. We just think for 500 points, we get into trades, market goes up, we exit at these points. But at the same point, if you look for the trade for at least 1000 points, and if your edge is right, if you're executing your trade at the right point, right place, right entry, you can easily hold that trade with an ease, right? You can be with an ease, you can do the in and out, you can cut off your half the quantity, you can take the money from the table, then you can still hold that. Because taking your winning amount is more important than getting your winning amount converted into loss, right? So that's what usually happens when we trade for a small distance. Either we just don't book that, either we put that whole money into that single trade for those small points and thinks that it will get right. Yeah, actually I'm looking into the future chart. That's what we trade, only future. You guys don't have to go for the options, nothing extra. Once you know how to trade a future, even in the BTC, believe me, you really don't have to find anything else. You really don't have to look for the strategy because that's the simplest way it can be. You just need a volatility like the moments that the market create. And if you look closely, these are the points, these are the points which the BTC can only provide, like the percentage that the BTC move on a single day. You can easily try to have those trade which might go on your side. Alright, and what kind of a strategy you guys like to trade in, and what do you guys believe? Because that's more important. We don't try to change our beliefs, we just believe on that what we have learned. So what do you guys follow while you guys trade? Do you guys follow like a news, like if there is a news, or you guys get scared that, oh, it's a news, how are we gonna be trading in? Or you just put your whole money into that trading events when there is a major event? Please explain about leverages. Oh, these are nice questions. Alright, so let me tell you about the leverage, okay? What are leverage? As you guys can check, we get the four option, the platform that give us like 1x, 10x, 25x, 50x, 100x, 150x, 200x. These are nothing, just these are something where you can get your quantity on the discounted price. These are your discounts. You put a 50x, it's a 50x discount on that price. So suppose that if the price would have been for a 5 lot $100, if you put that on a 50x, it will only come like $50. You will be getting a discount of a $50. But what's the problem with the leverage, you know? We take a leverage, so eventually we take a high quantity. We think that we do have a leverage facilities, and even if we are having $100, we'll trade like from the $500. We don't have to use the leverage in that way. In the simple term, just the leverage is something, you know, you can make it as a 25x. You don't really have to know anything. Until or unless your lot size are something which you can manage, you can go for 200x as well, you can go for 100x as well. That really doesn't affect. Because if I show you, okay, if we trade at 10 lots for 1,000 points, suppose the market is at 94,500 level, and we are trading a 10 lot using a 25x. If the exit price is, if we are going to get buy, if the exit price is after like 200 points, okay, it's 96,500. So you can see the profit will be $20 on that, on the 10 lots only, okay. So we really don't have to get the leverage, high leverage, because as beginner, this is something, the quantity that we can use. If we do have a right point, if we do have a right rewards, we really don't have to put that leverage high. Because even if you put the 50x, the profit will be the same. Even if you put the 100x, the profit will be the same. Even if you put the 150, the profit always remains same. Leverage doesn't change your profit, but it changes your lot size. It changes your price of that buying. You know, the buying price, the market price which you purchase through your quantity or through your funds. So if I put that on a 25x, if I have to trade at 10 lots, it will take a $37. But if I make it to a 50, it will only take 18, and that's what we feel that these are your advantage. These are not. Because that's fine if you're just trading a 10 lot, you do having a funds, because what happen is that when you put your high leverage, you only get a small distance to have a stop loss or where the market will go against you. So at the 25x you're secure because your fund will work. You will use your funds to the full potential. You can put your stop loss at this point as well. You can put your stop loss at this point. But if you're trading with 100x, if you're only having like $10, $20 amount, and you're using a high quantity more than that, so you will only be having a space to put your SLs at these points somewhere, and it will get liquidated. In my opinion, I really don't follow the leverage. I just need a 25x. I just need a funds on my account, and it really is not a thing. Because the more we change our position size, the more we trade on a different quantities, that is a problem, guys. What else you guys trade, like, you know, apart from the apart from the crypto, apart from the future, and how long you guys are trading? Do you guys have any trading experience for more than a year, and what do you guys have learned? What are the things that works perfectly fine when you guys trade? And what are the concepts that you guys try to learn? No problem, buddy. I just want that the people, they are asking me the questions, not only asking for the trades, because at these points I can give you the trade, you know, but that will not be something that is that you're gonna be learning. No, you're gonna be learning nothing on that, you know. That will not help you guys. Still learning. Okay, that's fine. You know, you just have to still learn it, and then it's not a very long term learning, or you don't even have to learn it for 4 or 5 years that the people says, you know, that trading is a learning process, trading is a business process, or it take that time, it take 10 years or 15 years it take fees that we have to pay, or it take your losing streaks. No, we don't have to go through that. It's just the thing that we have been believing on these things because of this ratio that the trading have. You know, the 99% people get fail, or whenever you heard some trader, they always tell you the story that they lose that amount when they were at the beginner, when they were learning, you know. But really, you don't have to get through that if you understand what actually trading is. Because eventually, after losing that whole amount, the people realize the same thing. They people work on the same mistake that we already know that we can avoid at the same point. These are the only mistake, you know, because when it comes to trading, we say that the discipline, we say the psychology. But what is psychology, and why the psychology? Why the discipline work in the market? Which is the best trading app? From my side, you know, you should not go for the Exynos at this point as you're learning. You should go for the Delta, as here you can start trading from a single lot as well, you know, and still you can learn, you can survive in the market. Important thing when we trade, we start trading, that is surviving in the market. The more you hold your capital, the more you hold your small capital, the more you are able to manage your trade in the long term. So you can choose the Delta. I do have a link on the description down below. You guys can join that. You don't have to do anything, make your accounts and start trading in that. Instead of Exynos, if you're having a low capital, because there you do have a fixed leverage which you have to use, and then you go for a high quantity, because at that platform, if you're using a high leverage, eventually you will have to get a high quantity. The minimum quantity size is so big that you will not be able to manage it all. Really, we don't have to. Oh, in Exynos, bro, you really don't have to trade. Like, what lot size you trade, how long you've been trading. You really don't have to. You will get the same profit from the Delta. I'm not saying that Delta is the one that will give you the profit, but it will save your trading account. Even if you're trading with $100, the Delta is best. And the people who say there is a lot of brokerage fees, of course that will be. Until unless you are not playing with your quantity size in the right way. The more you increase your quantities, the more you increase your lot size, everything is a problem. Everything is a mess. Because we should know if we are traveling somewhere, and if we are going for, you know, vacations, we know that what's our budget, right? How much we're gonna spend, and then only we get into that traveler, like that place or that vacation, or we, you know, spend our money as per we know that what we can spend. It's not like, okay, you're going on a vacation, so if that something is on the discount, so it's not that you will be purchasing that by taking a loans or something. You will be only purchasing the amount that you're gonna have in your pocket, the amount that your pocket allows, because you really know what your pocket allow at that point. But here you don't look the things in the same way, because here is the things are not expensive, right? You know you're getting a discount, you know you're getting a more discount, but you don't know why. So alright, also if I talk about the chart, okay, yesterday I created these patterns, okay, the market is uh, getting down from this trend line. I want that, like, the market should go more down, so those will be your confirmation that the market is trading below 95,500 level. Those are your confirmation that the market is going to get down. It can even touch like a 91, less than that, a 90, or it can fall even more. So these are just something you're trying to find your edge. You will have to look for your plans, you will have to trade accordingly. Alright guys, you guys can type hi, or you guys can type your questions, or if you do have any kind of a question regarding a BTC, or regarding your trading, regarding your learning, and something that you want to know you never got to know from the trading from the YouTube, I'll help you in the same. I'll try to guide you guys in the best way possible. And Solana as well, as I can check here, at this point, yesterday we were having that testing trade at this point, and which went right completely. You got like a points where you could have been done your quantity exit at the same point. But what we actually do, if we get into trade, if the market get even at these points, we'll exit our trades. We don't have that holding power. It's just because of either our lot size are high, either we don't know, either we're just trading randomly without having any plans. Yes, sir. I do come online daily, and if you come daily on the regular basis, I'll glad to help you, bro. I'm glad to, teach you guys whatever I have been learning, and I trade on the psychology basis. It's not a like ICD, it's not a SMC, or these are not a very complex concept where you have to learn like the way we used to do on our studies, the formulas or the different terms or different things, definitions, which we have to keep in our mind and will make it more complex. We just do the psychology every single day. You guys can learn it very easily. It's just that you have to understand that what actually trading is. What are the fundamental nature of your trading? What is your main purpose as being a trader, or if you're trying to be a trader, what's the end goal behind it? If that is a profit, you guys can trade any strategy, you guys can execute any trade at any point, doesn't really matter. Eventually you will get into the wins, eventually you will get into the loss, the drawdowns that we try to avoid, where we lose our whole capital, and that's kind of commonality with every trader who trade in. They come into trading, they try to trade with a low quantity because they are kind of scared, but then they get the profit, they immediately increase their position size as they get into the confident level, and from the confident level they get into the euphoria level, which is the state of heaven. That is the state of state of heaven of your mind. So these are some commonality or the mistakes that we do if you look from the perspective of a psychology, and the things that comes matter in the market. BTC may go down, BTC make a triangle pattern. Exactly, whenever you see the triangle pattern, bro, there is something going to get huge in the market. That's what I've been observed from the BTC for very long, and that actually works. Out of 10 times, that will be working for you 7 or 8 times. But all you need to have a right concept to get into trade on that triangular pattern basis, and you should know what actually you're doing. Because if you know that it's going to get down, never think that okay, it's going to get down, we'll put our whole quantity. That's why we make a mistake, that we know what it's gonna do. It's fine, we'll have to observe, we'll have to analyze the trade, that whether it's going to get down or up, but once we are into trade, never change your quantity size, never scale up or never scale down, or never trail it, or like on the immediate basis. First look the market if it's going accordingly as per your trade analysis, and just hold that. You should know how to hold the trade, the trades. Okay, now what is the liquidity swap? Okay, so you guys wanna know about the liquidity swap, right? Because if I tell you about my knowledge, I really don't believe in the liquidity swap. I don't believe on that liquidity things or the order block, the order flow, what the people say. Because the more we put that in our minds, that will be more problem. But in the simple term, you should know the basic. You should have the idea that all these terms come from the market, has been created from the people, has been created like a formula that we use to get into our trades, to get out of our trades, nothing else. So liquidity is something, where you can see the orders have been put it in, or where the order might get cut off from the market side. But even if you know what is your liquidity, how it gets swapped, It's nothing, bro. There is no one that coming personally to swap your liquidity or to swap the market liquidity, right? That's not the task that the people have. They just do have one thing in their mind: who moves the market up and down. They just know they have to move the market up or down from one particular price to other. So whatever comes in the middle, that have been created by the human, that have been created by the traders, not from the professional trader. Because the professional trader, they don't go for the liquidity swaps, they don't go for any trend line or the news events. They will trade it according to their plan, because they actually require a plan. We don't have to look for the plans if we are not trading as per the professional trader, if we don't have that perspective, if we don't have that mindset. Because if I tell you about the liquidity swap, if I give you the huge definition, I can give you that as well, that this is that and this is that, that will make you more confused. Trading is execution. The trading is executing your trades. The more you're comfortable trading your account, trading your trades, you're all fine, you're all set to go. You really don't have to care about the liquidity swap. All you have to care what distance you're giving to a market, where the market, if the market go against you, you're all fine. You're not worrying because you know that the market have that distance. That's what you can put, and then the targets. You should have that in your mind, the money managements. Because if I go into the YouTube at this point, there will be a YouTubers, there will be the streamers who will give you a different varieties of knowledge on their own assumption or on their basis of their knowledge, right? Whatever they have learned. They try to give you the new concept, the new strategies, because there are a category of people who look for a different thing. But that's how we're creating a mess in our trading. As a beginner, what we need to focus on, the momentum that we need to get in, the high rewards. Always try to look for the setup which is more than 1,000 points, more than 1,500 points if you're trading in BTC. Exactly, bro. Like the simple thing help to make money, and you just have to follow your simple plan, which we really don't, because we know what we need to do. We know what should be the plan, but we create it in a different way. We make it complex. We know what our risk management should be, but we still don't follow. Because these are just the lip service we haven't learned from the YouTubers. But if you ask some sort of a YouTubers that why I should why I should follow a risk, why I should why I should not take a high quantity, they will just give you the reasons that it will blow your account. It is not the right way. But why? How it affect your trading, how it affect your mind, how it affect the fear that comes in your mind while trading, the confidence from from euphoria to a state of hell. When we are not in a risk, like when we are not able to perceive our risk, it will eventually take you into your losing trades, because eventually you will be making mistakes. Trading is all about not to create the mistake that we create on the regular basis and that we don't realize. I hope it happened with you guys as well, even if you follow your any strategy. Still, sometime what happened when you put your trade in, you see the market is going against you, you cut off your trades, you think that now it's going to get up, and then you get out of your trade and immediately the market got in your favor after cutting your stop loss or after once you cut your trade in. So why does that happen? Because those are the only winning trade that we could have, but we still miss them just because of the fear inside of our mind. Hello everyone, if you guys are new, like we trade on every single day, like we come live on this channel for IT and trader team, and these gonna be your English live stream for the crypto. If you guys are new, you guys can use the below link to open an account, And these are 100% FIU-registered, safe and legal platform. You will not have any doubts in your mind if you're trading in the right platform, if you will get your payouts, if you will get your withdrawal. Everything is, kind of secure in these platforms. So first of all, use the only platform which is kind of handy, or where you can have that trust, where you don't really have to think apart from your trading. You don't have to think for your withdrawals. You don't have to think what if it get banned or if it is illegal or not. No, you just have to choose the right platform. You just have to choose the right way to do anything, like whether it's trading, whether it's platform, whether something in your life. Alright, so again, my perspective for the BTC might be for the downside only. And so if I have to take a trade, this is the right point. We can go for the trades in with a small quantity. Our SL should be at these points where you are having a huge SL, but these gonna be your holding trades. And you can expect the first target at these points again. The market might touch these levels, but we just won't want to break down at these points, okay? Exactly, that's work in the market, that's how it work in the market. The 25x leverage, because leverage is nothing but just the misunderstanding that comes in our mind. If we use 25x, we think that, oh, we are not like other people, we'll be get back, we'll not be having a profit. But you still get that. Because the more important is your quantity, the more you manage your quantity, the more you accept your quantities, you can go for any leverage, again I said, and you will eventually will not go for that high leverage. Because if you're using a 50x or 100x, that means we are trying to make money very quickly with that small funds, and where the risk limits are low, but we are taking more or less like a more risk than what it should be. So that's the mistake, and then eventually you blow your account. If you're having that from the past 4 months, use that 25x leverage. And what lot size you trade, bro? What are the lot size? And what are the number of trades you take on a single day? Because there is also one more thing that the people say, the over trading. I'll remove that misconception from your mind, from the people's mind, that what actually is the over trading. Or is there something like a over trading? Of course it is, if you're not trading in the right way. But once you know what you're actually doing, how you're executing your trade, there is nothing which we can call an overtrade. We have to overtrade then. Alright, if we check that on a different, and make sure whenever you're trading, never use this 1 or 3 minute chart, never ever. Even the 5-minute chart is something just to analyze something in that trades, if it's going right and if that's the right entry. These are your confirmation. The 5-minute chart play a role for your entry. Apart from that, if you're trading as an intraday, use a 15-minute of a chart to get into trade, use a 30-minute of a chart to get into trade, and check the chart on a multiple time frame. The 3 hours important, 6 hour, every time frame is important. And that is something I believe you can easily do if you really want to be a trader. Because at this point, if there is nothing to trade in, if you're confused what we should trade, we can have a different perspective. The chart can tell us. All we need to do, we just have to observe these patterns, observe what we can do, observe where we can have a good distance in the market to trade in. To trade, bro, in a single day. And why you don't go for the third trade? Like, what's the problem? If you lose your 2 trades, you shut down your terminal, you don't trade anymore because of the over trading or because of your own rules. What comes in your mind when you trade, like when you have already done your 2 trades? Because that's what the problem. We have been created the beliefs that if we have a setup that we will be only trading 2 trades a day, we don't go for a third trade. And if we go for the third trade, and in case if we lose a trade, we just blame it on our own, that why I took that third trade. I should not be, breaching my rules, or I should not be doing the over trading. But it's not a thing, bro. These will be coming on that same basis. You will have to trade it more if you're getting a loss, but then again, if you're getting into two trades, you're putting your whole quantity, you don't have any managed risk, of course you should trade only two trades. But if you are having $100 in account, you are having your risk management, you can either go for a 5 trade a day, a 10 trade a day. Because the more you trade, the more you get to know about the market, the more you are able to survive that. I'll make the rules for myself. Oh, that's nice that you're creating a rules, bro. But just try to avoid that two trades, two trade in a single day. If that working perfectly fine, then you can of course follow that, whatever suits you. But if you're trying to explore the trading, it really doesn't matter that if you're just getting into two trades. Make sure the risk that you're taking into that two trade, you can divide that risk into 5 trades or 6 trades by scaling down your quantity or having a one specific quantity. You can also go for more than a 2 trade then. And never think that the market time or the market session will work for that, or only on the New York session or in the London session you get the momentum or the market will go up and down. These are just our beliefs. It never works in that way. Right? Even if I'm trading in a London session and if there is a rally of 5,000 points coming up in that upcoming few minutes, how would I know that? Right? I can only assume that okay, there might be a momentum, but I don't know when. I don't know where it might go up or it might go down. So there is no way to think about the session. It's all about your precise entry, your setups, your edge that you plan. So first of all, as being a professional trader, you should have a plan, what you are trading, and that's what usually we don't do. The trades that we plan, we never execute, and the trade we never planned, we always execute. That happen. So if we're doing that in that way, of course, even a single trade is not good for us. Even a single trade is something we're not deserving that to trade in. If you're doing that with that mindset. Alright, so I just think that there is only one people who really want to learn trading. Apart from that, the people are just watching. Is that what the people doing? Alright, let's do one thing. Let's try to analyze the chart. Let's see. So from like last 2 or 4 days, I'm kind of bearish, and I'm still at the safe zone. So if I would haven't put my trade here with a small quantity, I was safe. But at the same point, if I would haven't put my trade with a high quantity at this level, and the market was trading at this point, I would have been exited my trade with a loss or with a CTC. And then we would have been cried that I missed that moment. Again the trade went back and I exited my position at this point. That's what we do. Because we know what the market is trying to do after putting a trade, and that's something that's bullshit if we think and if we know what the market is going to do next. We can have an edge, we can have a risk management rules, we can have a high probability setups that might work with our risk management, with our money management rules, but it's not sure that of course that will work in that way. Because if we are sure that the market is going to do that, or market is going to do that in the next way, or it's going to get up, eventually we'll increase our quantity, right? So you should always put your risk as per the investment, that you're investing something in the market to find whether it's going to get work or it's not going to work. Nothing extra. And if that's going to work, you should know how to manage that. You should know not to leave money on the table, and you should know to book your profit at the right point. And if that's not working, find the next edge, find the next plan, and trade in. Because there is a number of opportunities you get every single day in the trading. You get thousands of opportunities that the market shows up.
But we can't trade on all of them, but we still can trade on a different opportunity by putting a small risk or by putting a small money management that can give you the profit as well, and that will not blow your account as well. Would we add some quantity in the shorting trade? Okay, so if you're trying to short the market, make sure what lot size you're trading, because the trade that you can see at this point, if you're a high quantity trader, you can trade at these point by putting your SL at these points, but you can expect the point tail here, but it will take a time. This is not the right time to make an entry. And if you're making an entry, have your lot size in the managed way, and you can put your SL stop loss at these points, because from my side the perfect stop loss that is coming up at these level if you're trying to short the market. And as you mentioned, can we add some more quantity? If you're adding it more quantity, we don't have to add the quantity, but if we are taking a trade, we can take a trade with one specific quantity, one particular quantity. And after, don't think that we have to add it or we have to lower down, or if the market is not going in the way I need it, or the market is going against me. We don't have to think that once we get into trades. And before putting your trades, always observe the candles, because the candles are going to be very important. Candle shows you everything. Once you know how to read these candles, I'm not talking about the pattern that the candle create, the hammer candle or doji. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the formation of the candles, how the candle work in the market, what it says when we trade in, and what a kind of a confirmation these candles can provide while we're trading. Okay, so let's do one thing, okay? I'll be just creating a. So if we're trading a BTC, also create a journal. Every time you take a trade, you should have every single trade journal with yourself. Doesn't matter if you're trading a 2 trades a day or 5 trades a day. You should know what you're exactly trading. You should have written it down first before you get into trades. So suppose if I'm getting into BTC short trade, so I can mention here before I get into trade what I actually do. I just mentioned what I'm actually doing, what's gonna be my lot size. If that is a 10 lots, I'll put the 10 lot, and then we do have our profit and loss ratio, the risk ratio, what we're gonna be risking out. So if we're trading at 10 lots, we can have a risk for these 300 points, where I can check that a small trades might go. So we'll be taking a risk for at least $3, not more than that if you're trading that. And then you can go for your P&L. So these are something where you hold your trade and where you easily can hold your trades in that manner, where you know what actual quantity you're trading in. What we actually have to do before we trade, we should have a plan, we should have an edge, we should have a predefined risk. That is more important. We don't put a predefined risk in our trading. We should have a good entry level. That is more important. We should have a good exit. We should have a stop loss. That is not something where the market is hitting our stop loss and then going into our favor. Either we're gonna be putting our stop loss where market goes up, so it will completely change the trend, or either it will take a time and it will not hit your SL, it will go into your favor. So these are what we call a safe stop loss. It's not about the smallest stop loss or the big stop loss, it's all about the market condition. Let's see what happened in the BTC. Oh, the BTC not gonna do anything, bro. It might go up, it might go down again, which usually happen in the trading. Either it go up or down, but at this condition, the market is going to get down. I'm looking for one downfall at this point, and if not, then it's still consolidate at this level. It might go these levels, can consolidate for the same zone for a few more hours as well. And I usually trade, like, whenever I get into trades, I cannot exit those trades within a minute or within a 10-15 minutes. I usually hold those trades. And the market tell me to hold those trades. The market tell us where I can eventually hold that with an ease, right? So if the green candle is coming up, if my trade is at these points, I will not get scared that, okay, this candle is going up, I should exit my trade. No, I'll wait and watch. I took positions from the 94,700. Alright, let me see the 94,700, bro. Alright, you got a right entry, but the stop loss is kinda risky. So that's what you have to do, you know, if you're trading at 94,700, once you understand how the market works, what the market might do up or down, in terms of psychology, in terms of your actual knowledge, when you really understand how the prices move, you will realize that you will get the right stop loss places eventually. What's your stop loss, bro? Because on the trading, just look for the consistency. Alright? Just look for the consistency. And what is consistency? I told you earlier as well. It's a nice, steadily rising equity curve. When you rise your equity curve on the basis of that small growth on the normal drawdown, that is your consistency that eventually will give you the money. Let's see, guys, what's gonna happen on the BTC. As of now, we're just watching the charts. There is nothing to do extra. We can discuss a few points if you guys have questions. If I show you on a single day time frame, the market is at these level where market might goes in these range only. So for a few days, if the market don't go anywhere, the market just wanted to trade in this range. That is from 95 to 92, and I'm just waiting for the 92 level. So if it does these levels, that means it might consolidate more or it might get down. That's a first sign, the first edge that we can find before we execute our trade. And these gonna be your holding trades or kind of a positional trades which you can hold depending on the market moves. Or either you can just jump out of your trade by having a small quantity, and by small points, like more than 500-600 points or 1,000 points, you can easily capture. But again, the entry, the stop loss. Because most of the time we do have a right trades, but not the right entry. Your stop loss is at the 95-100. Okay, let me check that. Okay, that's nice. You know, if you're having a good, yeah, that's a good stop loss. That is 95-100, and you're able to do that, I believe, just because you're managing your quantity, right? Because at the same point, the people would have been traded if they would have been $100, and they would have been put like 20-30 lots, and then they don't have a place to put their right SL, right? And they will put their SL at these points, then they will eventually have to trail that. The market will cut off their stop loss, and the market will go down, you know, and then they will lose their money or they will lose their trades, or they will be having doubts in their mind. So to have a risk-free trade, to have a trading without a fear, that is more important. That you're trading without any hesitation, without any reservation. You find your edge, you're just executing your trade. Literally, I was streaming yesterday and the market was trading at the same point. Then I told that the market will go down at these points, even though I was looking for these target. But again, these were something which was a huge point where we can easily book our quantity with an ease. Hello guys, welcome to the stream, and if you guys are new into the stream, you guys can join the link below in the description for your delta, and you guys also can join the coin DCX for your investment and everything. We do have these links down below which are completely safe. You guys can use it, you guys can join through that, nothing extra. And one more thing, bro, like whenever you get into trade, always feel like there is nothing extra, nothing against us. Market is not fighting against us. There is nothing to do with the market or nothing to do with us. If you're trading in the market, we don't have to blame the market. Because if you clearly see, these are just your red ticks, the green ticks that the market create. These are the pattern you're gonna see on the repeated basis. Every single day you will find these similar patterns which has been created as a collective human behavior. These are Egyptian, these are your beliefs that the people create, and the people think that what's going to get next. And how come these prices get created in the market? Because as being a trader, what actually we're trying to do? We're trying to check if the market price go from 94 to below 93 or 92. So what we're actually doing, that we're trying to get the price from one point to other point, respected to its last price. So suppose the market is trading at the 10. What we have to do in order to make money if we're trading for the long side? We want that the market price should go from 10 to 11. That's the only way that can give you the money in the market. Or if we're trading short, we should expect that the market go from 10 to 9. But how does it actually happen? Who moves those prices up and down? How actually we trade? Because in the end of the day, what we're trying to find as being a trader, a high and a low, right? A high price and a low price. If we know that the price is high, we will always sell. If we know the price is low, we will always sell, or we will always buy. But how come we can actually know that the prices are at the high, day high, or at the day low, or this is the low of the day, or this is the high of the day? That is something we always try to find using a different formulas, different mathematical formulas, like your technicals, like your moving averages, indicators that we use in the market. These are nothing but just your formula that has been created in the market. And the funny part that the formula, the strategy we follow, the market maker who actually moved the price up or down, they just want us to do the same. They just want us to follow our strategy in the way we follow, right? Because they know that what we follow, that doesn't work in the market at all. Those are just our beliefs, but we don't realize that. So make sure whenever you're trading in, don't be a robo, like, after executing a trade, have a chill pill and don't just look at the market. Don't just look at your trade whether it goes up or down. You have already put it your SL, that is your investment, that is your risk definition of your risk, and the risk managements that you are putting to find whether it's going to get on your favor or not. Whether the odds gonna be working on your favor or not. Nothing extra. So let me see on the closer time frame on the 5-minute of a chart. The candles are kinda going up and down. So yep, this is something where I want the more downside moment, and if it goes with a good candle, we are good to go for the downside. Alright, so this was something where we can have the entry. This was the right point to get in an entry levels, and where we can have our SLs as accordingly. But then we have to look for the high rewards so that we can manage those SLs. We can have that small quantity to trade in, so that everything is managed, you know. Alright, so this candle was pretty much fine. The red candle that has just been created, the new candle have been started on that 5 minute of a chart, and we just have to look over those moments. The more important that the market is creating this trend line, okay, the price action in that way, which we don't want to continue further, because if it does that, the market going to get at these points as well. Let me see that on a 15 minute of a chart. Okay, the 15 minute gets seems to be a good in our favor. Okay, so you can get a moment, a good moment, like, you know, that it just show you the moment. So let me see, like, what it's gonna do. We'll just wait and watch. If you guys are into trades, if you guys have been executed your trades with the size over the quantity, you guys can mention that. You guys can let me know what trade you are in, either on the buy side, either on the long side, or either on the short side. What else you guys follow? The news trading. How you guys trade the news? How you guys trade the Trump? How you guys trade the Elon Musk? You know, that's what we believe in. I believe, yeah. That okay, if the Trump comes in, we'll trade. If not, we'll not trade. So these are just the beliefs that have been creating more and more. These are your methods that has been creating more and more these days. Now it's not only about your support and resistance. There is a lot more that the people have been believing, have been learning for the no reason, and it's just creating a mess. It's just creating a noise in that market, to be honest. Guys, I just want you to say hello or hi on a chat if you guys are watching the stream. I appreciate that if you just guys show me that you guys are active, you guys are listening. If you guys have any questions, you guys can write that down on the chat. I'm looking over the chats, guys. Meanwhile, as we don't have anything to do, we're just looking at the downtrend, the down trade that we are observing, and that's what we think. Also, if you guys see these lines, okay, don't get scared or don't get confused that these are so complex line. It should be something that seems so hard, or the trading is something where we have to create these lines. Not really. I used to do those levels from beginning when I used to learn trading, you know. So still I follow these levels. I don't follow to take a trade on depending on these levels, but these are something, you know, to give you kind of a edge or a plan as a setup. My setup works with these lines. My setup have a different setups, like, you know, comes accordingly. Some might be coming up from the trend line, some might be coming up from the support or the price action, but eventually what I have to do in the market, just the execution of my trades and to follow my risk. What is my strategy? Okay, so I'll tell you about my strategies, bro, because there is no strategy. The only strategy that I follow to not to have any single strategy. And because by the strategy, by the meaning of a strategy, of course I do have some of my edge that I follow, some of the learning that I observe, or, you know, you might call it a trend line, you might call it a trends or the price action. But in end of the day, the only strategy that you should have in your mind that what actually trading is. And if you're trading, your strategy should be that you're not repeating your mistakes. And the mistakes that those are like, getting in too late on your trades, getting out of your trade early, or making a mistakes to have that high quantity setup, getting in the state of euphoria, I avoid that. Getting in the state of hell or a terror, I avoid that. It's just simple, the chart behavior, how the chart presents itself, how it goes, and how my strategy works with my risk managements. Right? Because the risk managements, executing a trade, entry, exit, those are your strategy. The more you focus on that, the more, because eventually whenever you see any pattern present in the market, either it's your moving average, either some formula that you follow, we still find the confirmation. So that's something we are lacking in our strategy. The main strategy should be, if I'm having my setup, which I call it like a trend line, even if I'm trading on the support, if I look over the support, if that comes in my mind that this is my setup, this is my edge, where I have to get a trade in, I will just look for my risk, I will just look for that I'm not trading any high quantity, I'm not going against my rules that have been created on the basis of my quantity figure. And I just trade in. And then we don't have to do nothing. Then it's market and market strategy. Whatever the market does, I accept it. You should accept the outcomes that you're gonna receive. You should accept that it's something that you're just trading in. You really don't know what's going to happen next. I don't trade on the basis if I know that the market is only going to get down, or if it's 100% sure that the market will go down, I don't trade in that way. Doesn't matter if that is 100% sure, the 50% sure, the 10% sure. All I need my edge, all I need my setup, all I need sort of a confirmation that I'm not breaching my rules or I'm not making those mistakes as a trader what we make. And for that, you really don't have to know the strategy, but you just have to know the market condition, the market, how the market works. Because if I give you this strategy like the other YouTuber does, that you should follow that and that will not help you, they will not help me as well, eventually will make a mess. Strategy or something that you already know, bro. If you're trading more than a 1 month, you already got a strategy. You know when to trade. The only thing you don't know, that the hesitation, the fear that comes in our mind, the confidence that we lose, the lack of self-trust, that we don't trust ourselves, the self-doubt that affect our psychology, and the various other factors that comes in the market. That should be your strategy, to know that what exactly you're doing wrong in the market before getting into trade and then after cutting off your trade. You have to be simultaneously aware of the things going on around the market at the point when you're trading. Okay, what other confirmation do I check? Yeah, that is most important question. That is something that you can ask me, of course, because you have to check a multiple time frame first of all before you getting into trades. Start that with your day time frame. That's what I do usually. I check the day time frame. I check these candle behaviors where the buyers and seller show their strength, show their weakness. Because in the end, it's just the buyers and the seller who are trying to fight, who are trying to, it's just the conviction of the one price will go either up or down. Either the buyer will take that price up, either the sellers will take that price down. So the confirmation, you can never get the confirmation. All you can get is your setup. If I think that this setup says the market might go down, this is a resistance level, the market fall down from the resistance, even if you just believe on that resistance line, and if you just put your trade in, without hesitation, without reservation, that's your confirmation. That's a sign that you're putting your trade in the right way. And the confirmation, also my confirmation will be my quantity size. Make sure I'm not going against my quantity. I'll make sure I'm using the same particular leverage, a same quantity, a same risk management that I follow. And I create a different trading size for me. Suppose if I have to trade, I trade at any time. If I have to trade now, I look at the market, I don't get the trade, but I'll observe the trades. I'll check the charts, and once I find my trade, I will see nothing but I'll just get into trade. And as I said, my strategy my strategy give me the stop loss condition, the entry condition that it should be perfect. Apart from that, you can have a multiple confirmation. You guys have been deep knowledge. We do have a lot of knowledge, and the more the knowledge we got, the more we get confused, of course. But still, everything is a confirmation before we are not trading. But after trading, there is no confirmation. That's the only thing that you can make sure. That's the only thing you can try to manage. Because believe me, guys, try to change that perspective of the trading, that you need a strategy or you need a good setup or A plus setup, then only you're gonna trade. Because if that's the thing, you will never be able to a trader. Eventually, you will have that catastrophic drawdown, which usually every trader do have. Even if they do have their bold strategy, they cannot avoid that catastrophic drawdown, having just the strategy in their mind and not thinking what the mistakes that they are making, what are the errors that they're making. Because the mistakes that we make, if I give you the example, getting in too late. So suppose if I'm watching the chart, if my entry is there, okay, if I saw there is a one setup, but then again, if I look for a multiple confirmation, if I'm not sure about my own setup, that what I actually trade in, what are the mathematical formula that we have to use, like the technicals or the indicator, if we do not rely on that, if we don't believe on that, if you don't have that higher conviction, because as a trader, what you're trying to do to move a price, we are doing nothing to move a price. We are just following the price moves. We're just following someone. We're dependent on someone else. So even if we create our own strategy, that will never work, right? Because someone might be thinking a different strategy. Someone might be having a different confirmation. But then in the end, they will be the one to move the market, not us. We're just creating a level, we're just creating a traps that we are trading in, we are going up and down, but market is going nowhere. Because the person who moved the market, the people who move the market, they don't follow this strategy, they don't look for something of a liquidity sweeps or something. They will just come in, they will just trade in, and I just have to follow those people. And I don't know when those people are gonna come. I don't know whether it's gonna be good up or down. Because for me, the market is unique. The market is random. Alright? So I believe on the random outcomes. I believe on the acceptance that I have been accepted my risk. That is more important to accept your risk, to have a predefined risk before you get into trade. What we actually do when we get into trades, we put a trade in, then we think of our stop loss. That okay, let's give this short to a market, let's give this distance to a market. But before we take a trade, that should be our confirmation that what amount I'm going to put in a market. If you think in that way, that is the best strategy that you got. Because eventually if you fail in your trade, eventually if you get out of your trade from the market, you will not regret because you do have a next trade to get in. And that's what we do. Either we go and get in too late into the trades, get in too soon, jumping the gun like, just looking over the candles, getting down, and just getting into trades. No, the market will come at the same point again. We just have to know that why am I trading in? Is that the moment that I should really get into that trade? And if that is, then get into trade and think nothing. Just leave that rest in the market. because there is a 99% people, bro, who is not the person who don't look for the confirmation, who don't look for the strategy, who don't look for the multiple rules and regulation in the market, but still fail to be a trader, right? So that's not the only strategy thing. That's more important. What do you mean by the trading? What is the nature? How does the price move? What take the price from one level to the other level, or from how does the price movement take place from the 9 to 10, and who is the person behind it to move that prices up? When you know that, you really do the trading in a different way. You don't go for these rules or the basic concepts that everyone know and have been created so complex for our own. And also one more thing, bro, that I've been realized that I've seen, so I was learning in the YouTube. Many of the YouTubers, what they're gonna do, they will never give you the actual knowledge that they have learned, or either even if they do have a knowledge, that's really nothing. That's really not something that is actually needed in the market. That is just because they want to show that they are a trader, and just because of that they will have to give you the multiple strategy, they will have to give you the multiple knowledge. But believe me guys, that is just something like a waste if you really don't know what actually you're doing, if you don't know the concept of trading. Alright, so on the 10-minute of a chart, this candle was something, it went up here. It was see, the people who are making the entry at these points, that's what the market do. Market remove the weak hands if you're not at the right place, because market give you the opportunity, but market will not give you the right place to trade in, right place to get out. It will completely depend on your mental skills. So the skills that I use, those gonna be your mental skills, gonna be your psychological skills that you have to put into the market if you're trading. Alright guys, I just want more people in the chat. I just want the more active people, because if you really want to learn trading, I'm ready to give you, or I'm ready to share each and every knowledge, depending on your question, depending on my knowledge, depending on the basis, the way I trade. I'll give it exactly the same roadmap, but for that, I really don't want to get into the strategy part, or to give you the actual things that is not required at this point, where you don't really know about the actual trading. We'll be learning accordingly. We'll be go through that step by step. We do have every single day here. We'll be learning out of that. We'll get something from that. We'll have our own plan and old rules, and that is something will give you a different concept of a trading. Once you start relating with that, once you understand what we are doing as being a trader in the market, what's our main purpose, what should be our main purpose, because there are two type of trader, okay? The normal trader that look for the profit, that look for the winning trade, or always trying to find something which help them to achieve their targets, to achieve their trades in the right way, that they don't want to lose their money. This is the first thing the trader think. And those are your normal trader, because the professional trader on the other hand, they don't look for the winning trade, they don't look for the losing trade. They just execute their trade on the basis of the purpose that they're having for the consistency. They do have a drawdown as well, like we do have, but they do have a normal drawdown. They know what should be my risk. They know what I have to invest in the market. Unlike us, that we know what amount we have to put, while we don't know what amount we have to lose. Once you know what amount you have to lose instead of what amount you have to put, eventually you become a trader. Eventually you follow the things in the right manner.
So here we're just waiting for the downtrend. The market might go down, but then still, as I said, the market will revolve around this point. And if the market people are making a positions at these points, so it will just trap you at that one place, then it might go down directly. But yeah, we are just for the downside at this point on the BTC, and that's the 10-minute time frame. If we check that on a 30 minutes as well, yeah, we are as of now, we are all okay. If I'm in a trades, I have to be all fine. Whenever you take a trade, if you're traded at this point, and if you're trading in at these levels, you really don't have to get scared. You really don't have to put that fear inside of you that you should exit your quantity as the market is going back from there. No one knows if the market break down. No one knows if the market break up. But if we are into trade, we just have to follow our trade. How long from do you trade? So I started my trading like back in 2022, I would say, where I was started looking for like the way we start learning, we call it the learning that we are learning trading, but those are not your learning. As if I can say that I'm learning trading from 3 years, that's not absolute true because that was something I was trying to find what actually trading is. Because people say that the trading is something you take time, you take a time to learn trading and everything, right? But it's not about that. It will of course take a lot of time. It might take a 10, 20 years if we just keep on learning the same things in the same way that people trades. Think something in the market that the one person follow, and that you think that this is something which is no one is doing in the market, and it's something I can relate with that. You should have a natural fundamental of your trading. So I'm learning that from 2023, but then I was trying to find out what actual trading is, and then I got to know that within a 15 days after having that 2 years, 3 years, learning in the practice for something which I should not, but then every knowledge is kind of experience eventually will connect at some point, and you will realize the day you haven't learned trading completely, you don't have to learn it anymore. All you have to do is just follow the things that you have been learning, and just to follow, not to repeat the mistakes. As I gave you the mistakes can be anything. Getting out of your winning trade, and when we are in trade, we just exit our trade. We think that, oh, that's more than enough profit that I should book, and then you get scared that the market will go up, and you leave the money on the table because that's in the good trend. The market was supposed to get more down. That was your actual TP, but then you cut it off your trade in the between or in the middle just because your earlier last two trade were in the loss, so you having that fear in your mind. But that's the thing. Once we keep those fear, once we keep that confusion in our mind, that will be problem to hold our trades, and eventually we'll be making those mistakes. Booking profit too soon, move stop closer to the entry point. Like, sometimes what we do, we take a trade, we only go for 500 points, and immediately the market goes down. We think that, okay, market is in my favor, and we trail that SL to our CTC, or we change our stop loss. Either we increase, either we lower down that so that we can minimize the risk. But if you have to minimize your risk after taking a trade, that's the first sign you're making a mistake as being a trader. Because of course the one time it can help you to have your low risk, if the market is going against you, you can control your risk, you can put that at the entry level. But what if the market is coming at till the entry level and you don't know? And if it does that, you get out of your trade and then the market move down. How it gonna affect your psychology? It will completely affect your psychology on the next trade. Then you might go for a full quantity. You think that, oh, my setup was right, but I did not believe it. And then you trade in with a high quantity or double the quantity. And then if that trade goes against you, again, you're losing the money. But at the same point, if you would have believed your setup on every single trade in the same way, what it would have been done? It would have been give you the profit, and even if in the next trade you would have been got a loss, that would not be a big loss because you are already in profit, you know where to risk, you have accepted your risk. That's more important, to accept your risk. And my trading and learning is something, bro, that you're never gonna find on the YouTube. You will never gonna find that I'm giving you some sort of a knowledge that everyone gives.
It will never be the same. It might be the thing that I can demotivate the people in the right way, but I will not give you the fake motivation because it's easy, but at the same time, when you realize the things that you guys are doing while trading and the things you have to actually do in the trading, you will suffer with that. You will think that it's not that easy job to have a steady and stable income throughout to be a trader as being a trader to get those sole income on which you can rely on. That is that important, right? You have to be at that point. But how can we the person like that where we are relying on our sole income as being a trader? And by meaning of trader, that should be only a trader. Not like, you're just not trading, you're not having any trading knowledge, but still you call yourself a trader. And that's what the people do. The people know that everything about trading, they call themselves a trader, but actually that's not trading. In YouTube, you will never find actual trading. That's what I haven't realized, to be honest. You guys do have a questions, you can ask me, and any questions regarding your trading. Of course, I will deny, I will not agree with your questions. I will try to have you the different perspective. I'll give you the answer as well, but I'll give you your questions. Uh, I'll change your questions as well, because the question that you're gonna ask, they will be having answers, but that question is not something which will connect you with the right trading. Because we only ask the questions which we already know the answers, but we don't follow that because we don't know why. We just know that we have been learned that from somewhere. We've been following because everyone follows that, and some sort of a trader who are profitable. We think that these are profitable trader, but we don't know the background story. That everyone can be a profitable. It's not that hard to get the winning trade. Believe me, what skills it required to get a winning trade? If you're just looking for a winning trade, what skills it required? Do you need a plan? Do you need an edge? Do you need a risk? Not really. Do you need the strategies? Not really. You just have to go in the market, you just have to put the trade in, you just have to click your mouse button. Right? And you can get into the winning trade, a monster winning trade, or also at the same point, you can get into a losing trade. So was that a market that does that? Because I used to think that if I'm trading in the market, if market is trying to do something with me, if market is going just against me or cutting my trade, then how come 99% of the people are trading at the same point and they're not getting cut it off? That means because there is only two methods that you're making money out of trading. That is one, you're purchasing for the buy side, you're buying it for a buy side, or you're selling it, right? So if I'm a seller, there is 90% other people who are a seller, and if we all are getting a loss, that means I'm not the only one that getting lost. These are the other people who do have a better strategy than me, might be, the better plans, but still they are having the same thing. It's not only us. And that's the reason it's not the market. The market continue on the way it should be. The market behave exactly the way it should be. It's just our problem that we look the market in a very different way, like in a very certain way. That, oh, okay, this is a market, it should go there. There was the news, it should go up. There was the news of a Trump, it should go down. There is a huge crash, there is a market crashing like 90 years back. That's what we think in our mind. But that's not really a matter. That really doesn't matter. Even if you know that this is a support, this is a resistance, and here you understand the market behavior, that's it. That's enough. That's more than enough to get you the trades in, to get you the profitable trades. But the important thing that you should have a purpose to become a consistent profitable trader. That's what I realized that we don't focus on to become a consistent profitable trader. Of course, we need that consistency, but we don't know how, we don't know why is that important, and how does it help in our trading. how does it help to create our skills, the mental skills that need to be developed in the market, because we trade with three skills in the market. The first one goes like a subjective skills, where we just have technicals or methods that we follow on the basis of these trend lines, on the basis of your moving averages, the indicators, and you trade in. The other one is like, where you have to be really intuitive. When you start trading, using your technical method. Okay, so the first one is the technical methods that we use. So if I have to trade in, if I know the price action, I'll check the higher high. I'll try to short the market, or if I got my setup. These are just your technical methods that we use, the technical skills. The second skills that come in the market is your subjective skills, where we are kind of subjective. We are not only depending on those technicals, but also depending on our mind, that where I need to exit, where I need to book the profit, or what should be my loss. We are kind of subjective on depending on the market condition. That's the second skill. That's the second level that the trader goes with. The first one was the technical methods, right? These can be anything, your strategy, whatever you guys call the SMCs, the ICD. These are all your technicals. These are all just the mathematical formula that has been created on the basis of the assumption, the beliefs of the people that has been done in the past in the market. Because market keep the memory. Market repeat itself. Right? We say we follow the trend, the trend is your friend. It's not only the trend is your friend, but the market is your friend. You just have to follow the market. Everyone says that, but then, again, why I should follow the market? Because there is no other way to get the trades, to get the profit, until unless you just don't follow the pattern that is presenting in the market, until unless you don't realize that how actually it works. And again, I'm trying to repeat the same thing, that you should know the nature fundamental of the trading. You should know how the prices move. Nothing extra. Okay, so our trade is going right. Like, at this point, our entry was at these point 94,400. Oh, I'm sorry. What's that? Wait, let me check it. Okay, so we were having one entry level at this point, as I mentioned. This can be the right place to trade in, because there was the other entry which was not a perfect entry, but then again, who are trying to trade, who missed the opportunity at these points, they can trade in this place, because this point, this level is something where you can have a good stop loss, a good rewards, a good condition of the market to trade in your favor. So that's what we call an edge, where we look, the edge is in our favor, the odds are in our favor, and we can put our trade in. Then we really don't have to do anything in that. Hello guys, hello. If you guys are new to channel, if you guys will be joining the channel, make sure you guys are making, yeah, like putting a subscribe on the channel, putting a like on the channel, so that that can be beneficial for you guys. I hope you guys will learn something out of that. So our trade is going right. So this was our testing trade first today for the day, which we haven't showed it down at this entry level for 94,400. Our SL might be for a 94,740, or even that at this point is the safe SL 94,891. But that's what we have to manage. That's the reason we don't have to trade a high quantity at all. Let's see, guys, if this candle go down, if this candle close with that 20-second and with that same pattern, even more bearish, that will be the positive sign to trade. Downside, boy, you guys don't have to put the trade in, because these entries are something which traps you a lot. Even if the trade will go right, eventually you will have to exit your trade, or eventually the market will cut off your trades. Because that's what usually happens. We know exactly what they're trying to do, but we don't know when. We don't know how. Let's see the market. Let's see where it goes. We're just waiting. And there will be a one green big candle, and everyone will get trapped off. Everyone will get their stop loss hit. So it's not about the blaming the market. Those are just the takes that we'll have to bear with the market, you know. But we're just watching. It's fun. It's good. It's going good. We can watch it. Alright, so for the new people who are gonna be joining, if they're having a small funds in their account, I'll mention in the advanced like what quantity, what lot size they should follow. So that will be beneficial for the people. And for more than that, if you guys have a $500 account, you know, you guys can go for 15 lots. You guys can go for 10 to 20 lots with a risk of $7 to $10, not more than that. Where should I put in? Oh, yep, that's fine.
Alright, so if you guys are new, just make sure you started following these things from the day one. You guys can join me every single day, and I'll let you know what you exactly need to do in order to become a consistent, profitable trader. And believe me, guys, if you guys know these knowledge, you're more better than the YouTubers and more better than the actual trader who is trading in the market these days. Because no one know the actual trading. That's the funny part, and we're learning from someone who really don't know anything. We still believe those things. Those things still work in the market because that's what the trading is. Everything work in the market. Even if you say, even if you play a football, even if you kick a football 5 times, and that is your setup, every single day you kick the football 5 times, and after that you put your trade, eventually you will make money. Try that, bro. Kick the football 5 times. If you guys play football, just kick that football 5 times and put the trade in. You will make money or you will lose the money. So that's not the strategy that works in the market. That's not the skills that work in the market. It works, but if you use that in the right way. And the things which we are doing at this moment, the things which we believe, the trading which we know at these points, it just seems like you can do anything, but eventually you will still make money. Eventually you will lose money. But in the end of the day, in the end of the month, you will not able to survive, and then you will blow your account, which usually happen with a trader having a catastrophic drawdown, blowing up their profit on a single trade which they have been collective, which they have been creating from their small quantity, or the time they were trading with a small quantity, and the small profit turns into a big loss. That's what happened when you trade in the wrong way. But we have to do the opposite in order to make a profit. Small loss turns into the big profit as well then. Alright, so the market is at the 94 level, 94,000 level from the 94,400, and even though from the yesterday I was in the trade where I shorted the market at these points, so actually I will look for more downside moments, and as you can check on an earlier basis, from this point I was kind of bearish, which shows me the bearish pattern, and that's how you need to observe the chart. That even if you're not in trade, even if you might take a trade, but you know that it's exactly working, you have a big target point, so you can observe the range, you can be sure how your trade are working, and you can get a more confirmation the more you observe the market in the long time frames for a long, you're just looking for the charts for a trades where you're not capturing the 500 or 200 points, but trying to capture more than 2,500 points or 3,000 points or 2,000 points. How come you will be more reliable on your setups? Because it takes time, of course, but it gives you the secure way of holding a trade. That's what the benefits are. Let's see what happened next. Yeah, I finally got a move, bro, but then again, these are the moves which are not really, which will look in the market having a crashing move, because this is the afternoon. This is just market might be going down just to trap in, because there is a trend line, and if you see that, I need a fast movement here at this point, which can make sure that there is a movement. But if it just go like in a slow moves, that will be a little bit risky, and that's what the people trade in. But still, that's a good move. The last earlier candle was also good. Let's see what's gonna happen. And I thank you, bro. You're still joining in, okay? Make sure you're opening your computer every single day before you guys trade, and you're just joining the stream. You're listening at least something. So whatever you try to, whatever you get something relatable to your side or to your psychology, whatever you guys understand, try to follow. Try to believe on that, try to change your beliefs. I'll help you to get you the ideas that you guys are already having, because sometimes there is only with a few, the majority of the trader in these days, there is only a one thing missing, which we have to overcome, and we'll be getting into the trading zone. We'll be getting into the right way of doing trading. We'll be doing exactly what we need to do while we are in the market. And how come we'll be able to avoid those fear, we'll able to avoid those self-doubts, that comes in our mind, and to avoid those mistakes basically, which we don't have to make.
Apart from that, you can do anything in the market. Just make sure the mistakes I'll be mentioning in upcoming days, you just don't have to focus on that. You have to make sure on your every trade that you are not coming up on those mistakes. Of course you will. You will be, falling up into those mistake criteria on your few days, but once you really understand, you will try to reduce that. Eventually you will have to, because once you know that that's the fire, will you gonna be putting your hand on that fire? Not really, because you know that that hurts. So that's what you have to realize. That's what I'm gonna be making you the clarity, like the clarity about the things that hurt you in the market, with the reasons, with the logic behind it. There should not be the logic for the trade, but there should logic for the trading. Like, why is that wrong? Why we don't agree with that point? So there should be logic behind it, that you understand really from your inside, from your heart, that yep, the things, the logic that I have been learned, the market, how it behave, these are absolute true. And you will have to mean that, you will have to accept that. And then trading is easy, to be honest. And trading is nothing but just like trading with doubt and fear. So we'll have to remove that fear from, having that loss, to avoid that profit gap, or to fulfill that profit gap, which we are away from. Alright guys, if you guys are into trade, let me know what are your trades, what was your entry, and what was your lot size. That's more important, okay? And if you guys are into trades, if you're into the right level, I'll let you know if you have to hold your trades or not. And I'll give you the way to trade and holding the trade with an ease. You will see that by your own. I'll show you. All you need to have, make a trades. Yo, buddy, the BTC. I love BTC, okay, and we love BTC. We'll be loving BTC more and more. The BTC is something, it's just like you don't need any other instrument. It's like more than enough to teach you the trading, to survive in the market, to let you know what is the volatility and what are the movements that create the market up and down. Everything is here only in the BTC. And that's the first step you should put in trading while you're learning trading. That's the myth that, it's so dangerous, it's so risky, and the trading everything is risky. But then that's the control. That's over your control. You can manage your risk. Market is not going to take your whole money until unless you are not ready to give that. And if you really accept that you can only give that certain amount of the price to the market, and you're all set to give that market price to the market, you're all fine. Then you really don't have to bear. What is the target level? Bro, it totally depends on your targets. As I said earlier, I always look for more than 1000 points. So for me, it's just like a 500 points, which is trading at this point. So I will hold the trade more, because I don't think that you do have a big quantity that you're trading in here, right? If you're trading with a small quantity, you will be thinking that there is not that big profit. So first, we don't have to look for the profit, but we have to look for how long we can sustain to our setup. How long we can survive, and what is the biggest that we can create from the small amount. Because if you have a risk-free trades, you put the risk, you accepted that risk, you can take it to a target level. For me, the target level gonna be for 92,000 or 91,000. If it break these trend line, if it break this level, okay, if it break the 93.5, I'm sorry, what's that? The 93.586. I'll having a more target, I will hold the trade more. But at this point of the market, try to do something which I don't want. I can exit the half of the quantity, but here you have to hold the trade still. Because you never have to trade just for 2 to 300 points. Doesn't matter if you're losing that trade, but don't trade in this way. Don't trade on the target level basis. Just put the target in your mind, have as much as big setup target you can have in your mind, and try to follow the same. because when you put the 2000 point target, then only you will at least able to get 1000 points from that or 500 points from that. If you just put the 500 points target, there will not be a profit, there will not be a loss, but if there is a loss, it will be a big loss, and if that is a profit, it will not be a big profit. Then you will lose that amount in the next trade, right? Because next trade might be something where you lose more than what you make now. So trade in that way that you're getting something, you're getting learning, you know how to hold the trades, and eventually you will get your target, what you deserve, what the market, and you deserve more. First of all, think that we deserve more, right? What we think in our mind when we put a trade that we deserve only this amount of money, and after that just cut off your trade, close the trade. No way. You deserve more. That's the reason we're trading. As being a trader, what we do, we look for the money, we look for the extra amount of money, right? The whatever we can make out of that, because there is no limit on it. So it doesn't mean that, we have to put a high quantity, but if we are in a trade, we should at least have a basic idea that, okay, it doesn't matter if it goes up or down at my trade. If it's going good, alright, it's fine, I'll hold that. But don't try to change it for no reason. That's the reason it will make you suffer, to let you know when to exit your trade, when to actually book your positions or book your winning amount, because that require a different way of learning. The way we have been learned to cut off your trades, to cut off our profit, to book our profit, that will eventually take you into loss, because that's not the right way. So for the target, I always look for the candle movement. So as of now, I'm pretty much secure that even if this candle is going, like, I do have a chance, to hold this trade. You just have to observe the chart in order to have your targets, in order to have your, trades which you actually needed. Alright, there are the 5 people in the chat. You can just type hi if you own a trade as of now. Our entry was at 94,400. The market is not going nowhere, like it was just a small move where the people will think that the market is, breaking this trend line and this it might go up, but then people will start creating their position at these points. So even if the market have to go down, but the entry as per the market condition will not be the right one. Either you get these entry at these point again, then you can get into trades, but there you don't have to put your trade in. And the people who are already in the short trade, if you're trying to cut off your trades just because of that single text, of course we'll have to do that when we don't accept a risk, because then we have that fear in our mind that we're going to be losing that profit money. But we're not thinking that that's the distance where market can move up or down. We just have to believe what we have and think. But okay, let me just check the candles on a different time frame, because when it goes down you have to still make sure what candle. Okay, so the candle is something which is I don't want at the 5-minute of a chart. If it create a bull move, it might go directly up. Okay, no one can stop that. But let me see this candle. Okay, how far this candle can go, if that is a trappy candle or if it's trend change candle, because it might go up again from this point. As I said earlier, it will come to a trend line, then it will trap some sellers, and then it will make a buy move. But I don't know, all we have to do is just wait and watch. Either that's a stop loss, either that's a target. And why is that a stop loss? Because you have accepted that. And if you're not ready to accept that, that was your mistake, you will have to face that. Because whenever I'll be giving you guys the trade, or whenever we are trading, we'll have to make sure we're not having an amount only for our one trade, or we're not putting our whole amount on that single trade. You should know if you're losing this trade, if you're getting a loss of $5, you should have a other $10 to put the other two trades in. Because then how come only you will be able to, get into the winning trades eventually, and not just getting in a losing trade? Because it really doesn't matter if you're into a losing or a winning trade. All it matters is that your quantity and your risk, that you are all okay to give that lose to the risk to the market, or that amount to the market, and you're again ready to get a new trade without any hesitation or without any lack of confidence. Because even if we get the loss, we're ready, we know that, we accept that, and we just move for a next trade. That's what I usually do. That's what I usually gonna tell you guys. So I usually don't do that short trade or a scalping trade, but I'll be, doing those trades here. I'll be trying to give those trades in the stream so that we can have a multiple trades, because if I give the trade, which I usually do, that will be only a single trades that will have to hold, and then that will be your holding trades for like more than one day, 24 hours, 48 hours, that kind of that. We'll try to have the small setup trades as well, not a problem. I'll check that for you guys. We'll be trading in a different category because it depends. Every time it depends. Every time we cannot just trade an intraday. Every time we cannot just trade swing trades. That's the bullshit that we follow, that okay, these gonna be your swings or these gonna be your entry level, because then that's what we think, That's what we think, that okay, this have been told us to do that, we're gonna be doing exactly the same. We don't use our own brain. We don't use our own mind. We don't use our own capital. That what's my capacity to have the risk. Okay, so that's what is happening. It's creating a V-shaped recovery that is not good for us. But now what is gonna happen if the market has goes to if market have to go down? The market is just creating a price action at these points. If at this point the market come and just create a high, like the price action, and again went down, we are safe. So don't think that these are green candle, these will snatch your money. Of course they can, but let the money, goes wherever it want to, either with the green side or with the red side. These are just your takes. So at the same entry, if someone is at this point, okay, if someone have a good entry at the 94,400 okay, 94,400, and if his quantity is something which he cannot manage, but somehow he got that profit because he just traded or he just followed some trades, now what's gonna be happen? If the single trade or text that have been created just now, that was a 100-point candle, I believe, yeah. So what that person gonna do? He will immediately try to get out of trade. It will boggle his mind because the risk he was accepting, he don't want that the trade should go wrong. He was not accepting that the trade can be go wrong as well. Trade can be go right as well. That's just the investment that is putting. And if that's the investment, he should be ready to lose that amount, having a smiling face. Or then only he should put the money once he know that that's the investment. Apart from that, you can do whatever you want, you can learn whatever you want, you will be still crying, you will be still having a losses in your trading account. And eventually you will learn trading, but then again, you will have to believe on those things which people say, that the market take a fees, you have to lose your money. Then you of course have to do that. You have to lose your money as well. You have to give your time as well. You have to learn a multiple thing as well to get into those points. Or either you just follow a simple basic thing which will eventually take you at that point without having those struggle. So it depends on your choice. Either we look for a consistency, which is the results for a long term. And by the long term, it's not about investing at 10 years or 20 years, but it take time, it take your patience, it take your practice, it take your skills that you create, that you build, that you develop, and eventually the profit is your byproduct. You don't have to look for the profit, you don't have to look for the profit trade. All you need to develop your skills, and the profit is your byproduct with that. And by the meaning of skills, it doesn't mean that you're finding a strategy. It doesn't mean you're trying to find or trying to learn a different concepts. No, you don't really have to do. Even though if you know a lot of things, try to forget some of the things which is not that important, because that is just making a disaster inside of your mind. That is making a mess. So what usually happen, you see on a YouTube, you guys can exit your trade at these points as well, right? That was a huge points as per the YouTubers and as per the streamers that they do the trading, that tease the trading. But for me, if we are trading in here, it's nothing like we will be, getting excited or something. We'll be just sitting over trades for a big points, and then we'll try to cut off our trades. Because trading is something when you put your money and okay, that will be something where you can hold it more. You're holding that, you're having into that trade, you're getting into trade, you know to take a 500 points, you know to take a 200 points, you know how to take a 3000 points as well. So for that, first we have to know everything about it, everything what we can, what we cannot, and we can try it. We'll have to follow the discipline in this way only. This is not something, the discipline that you should follow, the patience. That you know that the market is going up, but you will not cut off your trade because it is as per your setup, it is as per your observation, it is as per your plan that you taught, and you will have to accept those things earlier than before than that you put the trade in. You have to think that. You have to think about those things before you put the trade in. So yeah, we're just watching on the 5 minute of a chart. The BTC is doing nothing now. Again, that was that small moves that the market was creating. But now it's kind of meshy because if it goes up, the market is going to get 95,108. That's for sure. But we will be on a short size. We have to, if you're trading in the short side, just be in the short side, nothing extra, and let the market move wherever it want to go. Have your trade, have your risk, and accept your risk, okay, before you accept your profit. Because if we don't accept our risk, we don't accept our profit. Alright, and the people who are watching the stream, thank you so much if you guys are watching still, and if there is any single person on the chat, I hope you become a trader one day, and you can really learn that with me. You can really learn by watching the stream. Here it will be pure learning, it will be something regarding your psychology. If you guys like to trade with the psychology way, or using a psychology to trade, you guys can follow, you guys can watch this live stream every single day at 12 p.m. in the afternoon, and we'll be trading a BTC, the other crypto, whatever you want to. But on a daily basis, on the beginning days, we'll be just focusing on a one trade of BTC, and we'll check that the more people what they're trying to learn, and we'll learn together. Okay, the market is going opposite. That's what the market do every day. That's a normal thing, you know. And these are something you can observe. These are not actual crash. These are not actual bull move. Whenever market do that, you know, first it show you the selling, then it goes up, and it make a zone again that trap the people, and this way it goes in. But this candle, the green candle, and that is so bullish candle at this point, which is not a positive sign, of course. So these are some sort of a confirmation you put in your mind by watching the observation, what it might be doing, what it might not be. But we can't do anything once we are into trades. We are just handcuffed, right? That's what we have to understand. So more important, if your entry is not right, you will have to make a regret. If your stop loss are not right, you will have to make a regret. Make sure think about it 100 times before you get into trade. Not 100 times in the way that you will be only trading when it is right, but it should fit as per your criteria. It should fit where you're giving quantity as per the way you want to give that, the loss you want to give it, you're giving the same. You're not giving any extra. And then really doesn't matter if the market is going against you as well. Because you know you haven't planned for that and the plan did not work, you will make a different plan, so that's how you can change it. But as of now, you just have to hold that trade if someone is trading at these points or if someone is trading at these points as well. But make sure your stop loss should not be get trailed. It should not get trailed down. Of course, you can trail it up, but not down. And the limit of your stop loss at this point is like from the 94 already at these points. So yeah, that's the biggest stop loss you're gonna get. The people who made the entry right there. Or probably that candle was there, you know, just because the moment you can find in the market because of the times, and is that a London session? That's what we call it in the afternoon time. So there might be the buyer and seller. But of course, that's something, you know. That's 30 minutes of a chart. We just waiting. Alright, there are the 5 people in the chat. Are you guys on a trade? Have you guys took a trade? Like, did you guys took a trade? Because the trade we were into, that is not going directly down and we're just making a choppy. The people are getting out, the weekends are getting out, but as far as I think, there is something coming up in the market today. But as we were bearish, as I was bearish from last 2 days, and my trade was supposed to be into the downtrend, I will be getting into downtrend to get that what's going to get next. And then if it goes up, I'll be trying to have my entries because for the up moves, I know that the target is coming up. If the market started going up, the target is coming up somewhere around 1 lakh. You know, market is going to get there at this point.
and then there are the new highs that will be creating, the market will be creating in upcoming days or week. But for meanwhile, we can be on the short side, this sort of thing. Alright, so if there is any trader like short it down for a swing or for like hold it trade, positional trades, they should be secure until unless the market is not trading above 95,500 or above 95,000, the market is good to go to get down. These are for your long trades, like a short trades, which you will be holding, not a intraday, not a scalping trades, well, which you can hold at having a good space, a good amount of a stop loss, and good amount of risk and the rewards that you can get, that you can expect. But as I said, this is some way something that will be depending on your quantity that you will be putting up. Let's see what the market gonna get you down or up, and I don't know, the people in the chat, can you just let me know what you guys think about the market? Also, I will tell you about the guys, someday that about the carefree state of mind, that why we should trade with a carefree state of mind. What's the difference between the carefree state of mind or when we trade with a fear? Trading with a fear, trading without a fear. What's the difference? Because when we are in the carefree state of mind, we are confident, we are positive, we're in this, in the, we are in the positive state. We accept the risk, we accept the randomness of the market. There is, desire that we really need to fulfill for to become a consistent profitable trader. There is a right clarity, there is a sincere, we are sincere on that, we are neutral, and then the main goal is a consistency. That's what happens when you are trading with a carefree state of mind. However, at the same point, if you're trading with the errors that I said, all we do have to avoid those trading errors. Because what they impact if you're trading with the errors, if you're trading with the fear, there will be a negative correlation. There will be a negative change in our mind. It will affect the psychology, the way we trade. It will create the conflicts. Whether you have to trade up or down, whether you have to exit or out, whether you have to book the profit or not, these kind of conflicts that comes in your mind. Also, the environmental info pain that we do have from our society, from our parents, from our friends, that we think, if we get wrong, we think that what we're gonna do, how we're gonna show to people that we told, how we're gonna, be to or committed to our goals, that we need to be a profitable. We were supposed to make a profit, but we're not making it. So these are negative change. These are environmental info that we keep, that our expectation hits, and we fail. And then eventually it tapped you into the pain, because once you have that conflicts, once you have those negative changes, once you have those beliefs through the society, through the environment, it doesn't matter if that is for your trading, but any part of your life, for any failure of your life that connect with your trading failure directly at the same point.
and which led you to the huge drawdown eventually. Not on that trade, but eventually it will take you into the huge drawdown. And you get away from the consistency, you get closer to blow your account, and the days come where you blow your account, where you make those mistakes, where you get into those revenge trading, and once you blow your account, then you realize that what I was just doing, what I was just doing that even after knowing everything that it was wrong, it was not right, because our mind is not in the condition to think in those ways. Our mind is not in the condition to get aware simultaneously when we trade or when we get into loss if we're trading with the errors. And if we're trading in the carefree state of mind, we're all set to go, we're good to go to achieve those goals, to achieve those profits, to achieve those losses as well, but in a consistent way. We will have a drawdown, but those will be a normal drawdown. You will have a growth on that. Those will be a consistency, a nice steadily rising equity curve. Your equity curve will be rising steadily, slowly, and growing more and more. But why we should get into the carefree state of mind, why we should have it, what's the reason, in everything will be mentioned, will be discussed further on the upcoming live streams when we'll have more people to join in. Because these are something which make you different, which make you professional, which put you into that 1% gap. You don't have to follow just one strategy for years and years. That doesn't work. You don't have to follow, that you will be only trading at 2 trades a day, years and years. That doesn't work. You don't have to call it as a mistake, because those are not your mistakes, but are huge mistakes as well if you don't do that in the same way. And if you do that in the right way, those are not actually your mistakes. Those are advantages that you can use while you trade. The same thing become an advantage because you know what you're exactly doing. You're aware. You're not bounded with the different multiple things. You're just focused on the trades. You're focused on your learning, and you know absolutely what you have learned, what is right, and what actually work in the market. And when you know everything about the market, when you know that you are right and your knowledge is right, you can't get more confused. And even if you make a more mistake, because you will, the mind has been designed in that way, it connects with our past, and whenever there is something which is against us, or if you're a failure, it will connect to your past, it will connect to your each and every failure that happened in your past. It will connect that immediately. So that's where you're going to be learning how to have these mindset calls and thing in the trading, how to use these things, for your advantage, for your profit, to fulfill your profit gaps, and to have a different side about the trading. But at this point, the market seems to be sideways again for a while, but it's again making a bull move. That's not a good thing at all. Alright, so it's kind of bull move and it's a recovery that we don't need, so it might go till there. If someone is trying to buy, they can hold the target if it goes right. Alright, ready to give your SLs, guys. That's simple. Either your SL, either your targets. Or the people who are trading here for the short side, they do have a lot of space still to hold their trades. They don't have to worry at all. Like they should have and manage their trades, of course, when the market was at these points. But then we can't do anything in the middle of this range. Alright, so earlier I said that exactly the same. If I would not happen in a short trade, if it would not happen in a short trade, there was a long opportunity I would happen get in. The time when I said that was a recovery, V-shape recovery, and exactly the market is doing same, which goes up directly now. If it is still going that flow, it is going to get up, right? And we can't do anything with that. But again, if the entry people who have been made their entry at these points, they will have to hold their trade. They can't do anything. They will have to bear these, the reversal that the market is trying to do, and they will have to stick to their stop loss and their entry. Yeah, exactly, bro. This trend line is something, making a mess. And I know that trend line gonna work in upcoming days, upcoming times. Here the market have to go get up, but I just want something, because my setup give me the formation of the patterns of the charts for the next target that might be coming up before it goes up or down. But there is some range that the market has to test. That's how I trade in. That's how I use my setup for the long trading, like for the short, like holding trades or to get a positional trades that I usually get. And as for my setup, that's the reason I'm still the bearish going to get downside. But then anytime we can start planning for the up moves or up trades. And those setup was already there when the market was trading here, but then I have to change that as per the market condition. And now I'm waiting for my other plan B, that is for the bull side. If that works, it will not be at this point. Of course, I can be on the short side, but then in the evening or probably in the night, we'll be checking what the market price are and what the market is trying to create the level, what the market trying to test the levels. And apart from that, I will never say, even if my trades are wrong, even if I get a loss, I will never say that the market did that to me. Or the market was not trendy, market is not trending good in these days, and just because of the news that's happening. No way, these are bullshit reasons. These are actually a bullshit reason that we can make. If I'm into the trades, if I'm getting a loss, it doesn't matter, bro, get out of the trade, and take your SLs. It's not the market, it was us. Probably there was a mistake in a trade. Probably I'll check if there was an error. And if I find an error, I accept that. And that was my mistake. I'll get into different trade. But I will not say that the market these days is kind of sideways. Or, the people say that it's not going to get up till the other news. It's not. It working that way, but it doesn't work the way you're calling it. It have nothing to do with that. And of course, the professional trader, they use it as an advantage because now everything that we're creating, the new strategy, the new concepts, that is coming under the professional trader as well. Because they know they actually do the things what you really want to do. They know you guys follow the strategy. They know you guys follow these things, so they use that as their advantage to make the money in the market. They will use your same support and resistance. They will use your same technicals. They will give you those patterns. It's kind of bait that will think, will look, because it work in a whole different style. They use at the same point the market maker use that at advantage. They make their moves, they make the money, and here we who are trying to find the levels, who are trying to get into trades, eventually lose our money because we're following something which they already know. And whenever you get, I'll just give you the funny thing, that funny advice. that whenever you are into your trades and you think that the trade is going against you, just change the time frame, have your same color of a candle. So if you're into short, have the red candle in front of you. That will give you the positive vibe. I'm kidding, that doesn't work, but yeah, you can use that still. And make sure you look in the chart always on the long time frame, like at least for 30 minutes, 15 minutes, or multiple time you're changing that, it's important. You're switching the times, you're analyzing, uh, not that present trade, but the other trade if it went wrong. So what might the market do next? You don't have to think for that present current ongoing trade, but you can think for your other edge, you can think for your other plan of the day. Okie dokie, so we're just watching that. At least there is a moment, right? It's not like it's steady or it's just not like it's stable at one place. If the market is moving, it's fun. And if that is BTC, that is more fun. I love BTC when it make that huge crash, huge pump, and what people call a pump and dump, and whatever they call, they regret, they get sad, they get happy to see the market moving up. But I find that very funny, because the way that people trade and what the BTC do and does in the market, I love that the combo. So you should enjoy, like, even if you're losing your trade, you should enjoy that. So trade and lose the amount that you can enjoy as well. And if you're in a profit, you can get fucking happy as well. But for that, you will have to align your mental skill with your technicals, with your market at the same level. That you know that gap, that you know that difference, that you know that the factors that are affecting the market and the fundamentals and everything about the market, which is more and more important before we try to be a trader. Or else whole life we just gonna be a trader, we will be winning amount, we'll be losing amount, and then one day we'll be losing our whole amount. And we'll have to find the other way to get your income, to get other source of income. I never saw a trader who is having a trades or winning a profit and having a life that actual traders should have. But that's a different story, guys. More focus on the trades. Just don't look those lavish lifestyle because even those people don't know how to trade. I'm not saying that their mistake, but there is something which is missing, guys. So yep. As they know everything, they know everything even more better than me. Even they do have a greatest knowledge of all time. They can be goat, but what trading? Does the trading really require that a lot of things? Or if that is the thing, then why still these people will have the same beliefs which the other people do have? It's just depending on the funds, right? It's just the funds that playing a different role. You will realize it later. But at this point, if you guys are thinking that the high funds, the high capital can make you a profitable trader, that is also not true. Because of course that's the thing. This again, that you can use that as an advantage. But what is trading? If I ask you what is trading, what are you gonna answer? because I know what is the meaning of trading. I know you can tell me what strategies are there in the market, what stop loss, what is leverage, where to put the order in, where to exit, how to take your winning amount, everything you guys know. But if I ask you what actually the trading is, I just want any other person in the chat who can actually tell me if that is a business, if that is just a gambling, or if that is a gambling, then why? Or if that is a business, then why? And if that is a psychology or a mental skill game, then why? Like, what's the reason? Have we ever tried to ask these questions? Or are we just following that from someone who we think that he is successful on that particular field? Because as I said, trading is just about the way we trade, the way the people trade, it's just a mouse click game. That is something I got to know about the trading, and when my eyes were opened up, when I really changed my beliefs from earlier beliefs to completely the beliefs that I used to think in my mind, but I don't used to believe, I don't used to accept. Because there was no one who I can rely, who I can follow, or who I follow, they tell you something else, then eventually we have to follow something. And that create kind of a problem, that's problematic. Yeah, there's the 5 minutes, and let me just check the chart again with different time. 3 hours. Okay, so you can check that. That is the range where market is making some sort of a move at one particular range. And now everyone know that once the range get break out or break down, the market will move. But what strategy can tell me at what point, at what time, at what entry I will get that range breakout or down? And what is being a trader, what we are doing? We're just doing the same, right? We're trying to find in any different time frame, in a different ways. We're trying to analyze the chart, the trends, and then we're trying to make a decision, the direction. We're finding a direction that where the market goes. But we'll have to think about that one more time. That's what we're actually doing in the market. Exactly, bro. Trading is a part of a life, and your life is a trading. Have you ever tried to relate your life with the trading and what trading tell you, because if you have been into your life, if you're not even a trader, if you haven't experienced many things in your life, you will relate the same in your trading, and you will use that as an advantage the day you will be connecting those both things at that one particular point. The trading actually is who you are. So the negative errors that you're making in your life, the same negative errors show up in the market in terms of your loss. There is nothing additional. Adjust your beliefs, whatever you believe, and the person who said that trading is a part of a life, it teaches us everything about us. Exactly the way I just look at it in the same way. So either you call it that trading is a part of a life or a life is a part of a trading. Both are exactly the same. One follow other. And there is more in that where it all started, where the psychology part started with your trading. Psychology is not only your discipline or not only your risk management, where we don't even know that why is that important, where no one tells us that. But only your mind, only us, we can realize it once we realize ourselves. And then further, we are not a way to know the actual reality and to know and accept every thing in this market. And that will be so fun for you guys when you will look at the market in that way. You will never find a single person believing on the things that you are believing. And they will create a huge difference. Because if you know everything, everyone knows everything. And everyone knows everything, you know everything. And if you know the same, you know nothing. You will have to grab that, you will have to find something. As the market is unique, you will have to be unique. That's the only possible way. Alright guys, so we're just here like for the 15 minutes more. I hope you guys can join it, and if you guys are watching the stream, please just keep on watching. We're just 15 minutes. After that we'll be ending the stream, and you guys can take a leave as well, and I'll appreciate if we guys get together on the stream and we end the stream together. Because believe me guys, every single point, even if you're listening a single part for even for the 10 second, and if you listen something from my side, one day as you're into trading, if you don't follow these things, but eventually one day by the experience you will connect these points. These points even will connect, even that small part will connect with your life, with your trading. When you will get to know the actual meaning of a trading, when you will be doing that in the right way. So don't think that we are not doing trading, we are wasting our time, we are not doing anything, we're just watching. No, it's not. Of course, you can do the same if you would have been on a different channels at this point. But believe me, I'm being just like you guys, and you putting our on the same page as we are. The individual having a different mindset might be thinking a different way, but then in the end of the day, the goals are same, and the direction is wrong. So we just have to altogether be into the one direction that we are the things we are missing in. We can have that, and that need your patience, that need your sacrifice for something. On the 15-minute of a chart. Okay, that was the red candle there. The next one has been started. Cool. That's not bad. So I believe again we are safe at this point. We can hold that again. So the people who just exited their trades, who cut it off their positions just because of these green candles, so they're completely out of the trades. And the people who are still following there, something which they should be, like I said, like I'm still holding, and you should be with an ease, with a flexible way, not thinking of much. You're still managing that trade. You're not still out of the trade, right? And you can still survive the market. You can still learn more, and have some learning for the next time. But eventually, you will learn something. You will not have any regret. Oh, crazy! So it might be a nice move for the downside. If it goes down, I will just be happy. Exactly. You just have to hold the trade, and also, the more important, if you're holding the trade, there should only be a trade that has been holded. Not your emotion, not your greed, not your fear, or not any kind of regret. You just have to be more confident that you're following it, you're doing that in the way you should be, and exactly you're following the right way. These are your steps, which will give you some insights. All you need to do, just have to relax and see what the market can do and what risk the market can do. So if it goes against 2,000 points against you, it will be a fun thing for you. You can just watch it. That, oh, you were holding, the market goes against you, you'll lose everything on that. So even that you can enjoy that part. But importantly, the trade you can only hold if you accept your risk. That if you accept your risk, you hold your risk, you hold your trades, you hold your profits, you get into trade in the right time, in the right entry. You don't feel FOMO, or even if you get into loss, you know what you have in loss, right? You know what amount you have invested and what you have in lost, not more than that, not less than that, and that was it. And that can be the fun process. How come I get to know about the trading? Because I used to do a lot of mistakes. I know everything. I used to repeat the same mistakes. I used to find a way to, what can be the way that we can get without any mistakes? What is that way? Why my strategies or something is not working in a very unique way, right? I want something that was, giving directly profit to me, or my trade should not went wrong. My trade should not went out, or if it went, I just got scared, I exit my trade, I look for the new opportunity, for probably for the opposite side, again exiting that. So that's why we make the mistakes, because we don't want to be wrong. And once you accept that, okay, even if you're wrong, that's not a really big deal, because you got 1,000 of opportunity, and if you really want to be a trader, you will be using that 1,000 of opportunities. You will do anything, whatever it takes. You will not get frustrated because you really want to be that, right? So eventually you will put your right step in the right way, in the right direction. And once you do that, believe me, that's something that you're doing a unique thing in the market, or with your own learnings, and eventually you will get in that one person, right? I will be the one, to show you guys the trades where it will go up and down, and still will be holding the trades. That will be the first time you're going to be learning, you're going to be watching, which will be new for you guys, where we'll be taking our stop loss, we'll be converting our profit into loss as well, but we'll still be with a chill pill. Like, we'll be being a chill, we'll not be thinking much, and we'll be enjoying that. Because usually you have been seeing people, if the market get reversal, they immediately ask their people to cut off their positions. They get, like, the market is going to get opposite, or whatever that comes in their mind, or in their mind. But here, we'll take a trade with the ease that it should be, with the flexibility that we're gonna have, that we'll just hold a trade, even if it goes up or down, even if it go 100 points, reverse, down, up, down, but still will be in the good frame. But still will our entry, our trades will be perfectly fine. You will watch it, you will observe that, on upcoming days. The only thing you need to make sure, what I will be trying to say, I'll be giving you some sort of insights, and once I observe you're ready for the insights, once you're really interested for those learning, I'll try to give you those complete learning, step by step. But at this point, whatever I'm just saying, you will have to get points out of that. You will have to observe what I'm exactly trying to go, where I'm exactly trying to go, or what I'm trying to point out, like, in terms of your trading, in terms of the knowledge, in terms of the people. Yeah, and more importantly, these will be your psychology-based trading, and where you will be actually learning in psychology, not like just the term psychology, but the actual psychology trading, actual mental skill, because that's all it needed. Alright guys, the people who hold the trades till now, so you guys can still hold the trades. Doesn't matter if it goes upside, just take a stop loss, plan a new entry. Make sure you're planning a new entry. It should not be biased. First, observe the chart. Whatever comes in your mind for some sort of a reason, just trade in, have your risk, and manage your risk. Accept your risk. Do not scale up your quantity. However, you can hold the trade, you can have it as much as the longer you can, because the target point of 92 or 93,000 at least, like where you can hold that target, where you can learn something out of that trade. You can see how the market moves, how it shows you. If you just rely on the 92,000 or 93,000, you can just do one thing: hold the trade in, look at this 93 level, you know where it is top, and around these level you can exit at any point wherever you want to, but try to hold that trade as much as you can. Try to see those reversal, try to see those moment that is scaring you, that is making you scared, that have already made you scared thousand or hundred of time earlier. So just check that what happened when you don't you know do whatever you have been done before, when you believe on your trades, and when you just believe on your setup, and when you're on your trade, you don't change the things. The things get changed because market is dynamic, not us, right? And we're just being constant, we're repeating the same thing. So we have to be dynamic as well. We should have a quick decision. However, just follow these things before then following the trend. Follow your own things that you will be creating. Follow these patterns, bear the risk as low much as possible, and on that low risk, see how high you can go, how good you can use that, how productive that you can make that risk, how many efforts that you can put in that risk, because that risk will be something will be giving you the learning, will be giving you the profit, will be giving you the loss. The risk is everything. So respect the risk, accept the risk, and yeah, follow on your risk management and your quantity. Don't decide your quantity first, always decide your risk first, okay? There is nothing in the chart that we can do. If I check the other chart of that Ethereum, so we haven't watched the Ethereum today, that is trading at 1796 at this point. This is also short of a bearish for me around my levels, so it might come up but goes down. So we don't trade this usually, but if you guys will ask me to trade in, I will trade that as well, because we really don't have to. The BTC is more than enough, as I said earlier, and just make sure you're not using more than a 25x, and you're using your limit. Like, you know your limits, you know your risk, you know your quantity, you know that you're going to be learning a psychology now. You will be learning a mental skills, you will be developing your skills that you guys already have. So I will just make you realize that, yep, exactly, the things you that believe, that those are completely true. And start focusing on the things that you believe, not the things that have been believed or have been created from so past. We just don't have to follow. We have to follow ourselves. But the right info, that is important. The right direction, that is important. I'll give you that. I'll make sure. And you can have any of the doubts in terms of trading, anything from the trading you can ask me. And believe me, if you really want that answer, if you really will be asking me the question, I'll be giving you the answer true and honest, which you can observe by your own, that whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong. Whether you heard that before, whether you know that before, or did you realize that ever or not. I'll be giving you any logic for the same. But if you ask me the logic for the trade, I will never be able to give you the logic, guys. Never ask the logic, okay? That's bullshit. So we're gonna be wrapping up the stream. We're gonna be ending up the stream today. It's 3 in the afternoon. It was fun streaming today, to be honest. I hope you guys will love it. I hope you guys will like it. You got something out of the stream. We'll be continuing we'll be continuing our stream tomorrow at the same time, 12 p.m. You guys can come and join, and I'm glad to see you guys again to teach you guys something new. You guys can call your friends, you guys can join it, and more of it. Like if you really want to start trading, and if you don't really want to mess up with your trading career, don't want to give that great time of learning on those wrong things, so make sure you can join our community, you can join the channel, and you can create your account. You can join the accounts by below description link. I have been provided Delta India links. There is a CoinDCX link. You can join if you want to trade on a crypto. You can join the Delta exchange, and if you want to invest or if you're doing those things, you can also join the CoinDCX. And our time is on the regular basis going to be 12 p.m. as we do the live stream in English for IIT Trader team, and we're the member of that team, sir. So we'll be glad to serve you, to assist you, and we'll be the assistants in your trading every single day. And as I said, like, you guys can hold that trade, which was for the short side. If the entry is above the 94,000, it should be like, your entry must be at the 94,500 or something like that. That would be the best entry. Or even at the 95,000, if you got an entry for the short, just still hold that. And you can wait for the other targets. And as I said, just observe the market, even if it go reverse, just have it as a fun, right? And yep, we'll see you guys later, and the target will be depending on your psychology, that the longer you can hold, but you will have to try that eventually. So make sure you're starting that from the day one to capture the big targets, to leave the trades on and not thinking about that, and just know what to do next or what have been done, why you have been took that trade. That's it. Apart from that, you guys can make a journal, and you guys can take a trades on the basis, like, of your risk again. We'll see you guys tomorrow at the same timing. Yep, I'll just wrap the stream. Thank you for your time, guys. Thank you so much. Have a very good day, a good evening. Bye.